50 years ago, the death of a 6-year-old girl on Teesside left her parents determined to find a cure for what was then a little understood disease. Out of that grew one of Britain's best-known charities, supported by millions. Among them, former Downing Street spin doctor Alistair Campbell, who's keen to tell this remarkable story straight down the line.
Just a normal sister, a giggly, jolly little person. Just loved life. Very short, but she loved life.
Whether in 10 years in political journalism or 10 years in frontline politics, stories have always been an important part of my life, writing them, managing and dealing with them. And there's one story that's always held a particular fascination for me. It's a 40-year-old story, a story of love and loss, courage and determination to make a difference.
And that story has brought me to the northeast, but this time I'm not stopping in Sedgefield.
Hello.
Hello there. How do you do?
How are you? How many years did you have together then?
She was a week, 2 weeks off of 7th birthday.
Were you close?
Oh, yes. We had twin beds in the same room. We used to go weekends picnicking. We'd all pile in this old jalopy and off we'd go. And play football, play bat and ball, somersaults, anything. And she just giggled and laughed and enjoyed the whole thing, just to make life as good as we could in the short space of time that we had.
In 1960, Susan Eastwood died of leukemia. Her parents, David and Hilda, were determined her death wouldn't be in vain.
My mother felt that she couldn't have had this daughter for such a short time and have lost her and do nothing about it.
The Eastwoods were now on a mission and started to raise money to pay for research into this little-known disease called leukemia. Sylvia and her mum got busy with the needle and thread.
My mum designed this pointy cloth stitched onto like a piece of card, and it sort of slipped into your pocket. It looked as though you had a handkerchief. Well, there was a great enormous factory near in Middlesbrough, and a friend said, I could sell those at work if you could make them. So, we must have sold thousands and thousands and thousands of those. It was a real money spinner, that one. It's very good.
Anything that could help raise a few pounds was sold or raffled off.
That's a hell of a little trim moustache, isn't it? God, he did that every morning.
I don't know.
Oh, he's top
I
lit.
used to take the mickey out of him with that.
As the money rolled in, all kinds of famous people were tapped up.
Eamon Andrews,
Yeah.
Hattie Jakes, Eric Sykes. We had a cheque from Rex Harrison, you know, the film star.
Yeah.
His wife, Kay Kendall, she died with leukaemia. And he sent us a cheque and we didn't want to cash it. It was so lovely to have this famous cheque. So I suppose we
I
could
bet you
have...
cashed it.
Oh, we did, yes.
In just under a year, £3,000 was raised. It was here to the world-famous Great Ormond Street Hospital for Children that first cheque was brought by the Eastwoods and used to set up the first dedicated unit to try and find a cure for leukaemia. From that moment, the Leukaemia Research Fund was born. And this is the proud moment in 1961. Research has been going on ever since at the hospital. Nick Goulden has had his work funded by Leukaemia Research for the last 15 years. Just give me some sense of how significant leukemia research is to the work that you do and generally to the fight against leukemia.
Well, you've gone from a disease that was incurable in the early 60s to a disease where we cure more than 90% of patients now. A very significant amount of development has come through charitable research, and without charitable research we would not have made the progress, and leukemia research has been central to that in the UK.
If Susan Eastwood had been alive today and diagnosed today rather than back in 1960, how would her chances of survival have changed?
She would have a very good chance of cure and a very good chance of going on to live a normal life.
I got involved with Leukaemia Research and am now chairman of fundraising because my best friend, a journalist named John Merritt, died of leukemia in 1992. And as if that wasn't cruel enough for his family and his friends, a few years later, his young daughter Ellie also got leukemia. She died in 1998 here on the Fox ward at Great Ormond Street Hospital.
Thankfully, the outcome is better for many children with leukemia now. Down the corridor, I met Bruce. He's 4. He was just back from a dose of chemotherapy and keen to talk about Star Wars.
Who's your favourite character?
Bad Emperor.
Bad Emperor? OK. What does he do?
Well, he's got lightning in his fingertips.
His fingertips? What, just like that? What was it like learning that he had leukemia?
It was quite a shock, as you'd imagine. And it seemed a long time ago now. It's actually, you're thinking it's only about 11 months now.
Do you feel hopeful and strong for the future?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do feel hopeful and strong indeed, yeah. He's responded very well to the treatment that he's received, so God willing, everything will be fine.
And while I'm here, I've signed up another fundraiser for Leukaemia Research.
So we'll get you out of the marathon, triathlon.
It'd be nice to look for, yeah. Yes, I think the answer is yes on that one, yeah. Yeah. It'd be nice to give something back to these people.
All right, okay. That's a lot.
Thank you. That's all right. That's great.
See you later, Bruce. Take care.
Say bye-bye.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Leukaemia Research started its fundraising in a front room in Middlesbrough. Now thousands of us are involved, and one person has raised a lot more than most. Ian Botham's charity walks have raised more than £10 million.
I said to Kath, oh, in a moment of madness, we'll do John O'Groats to Land's End. And that's how it all started. I didn't realise it was 400 miles from John O'Groats to the English border, let alone the other 600. So it was a bit of a shock to the system.
The former England and Durham all-rounder will be donning his walking shoes again later this year, and is certain the disease will one day be beaten.
Why wouldn't there be a cure found? Why shouldn't there be? If we can go from a 20% chance of survival to an 80% since the mid-80s, of course we can beat it, and we will beat it.
She lost all her hair, yeah?
Yes.
In Middlesbrough, I went to meet Rachel. She's living proof of how far we've come. As a baby, she had the most aggressive form of leukemia.
We went to the doctors one night and we never came home for a month. And it was just uprooted. We weren't allowed to go home to get anything. We were just there. So it was about 5 months of intense chemotherapy. And her hair fell out and she was sick and she wanted a pink tutu. So the nurses said, there's no way we're going to get this through. So we had to hang this on the window outside the room so she could look at it when she woke up. But you couldn't have it in a room with her, could you? Do you remember? She remembers it being hung on the glass partition because she couldn't have it in her room. Oh. So it was her little thing.
I know what they are.
Yeah.
Know what they are. Yeah.
Rachel went into remission, but a year later, the disease was back. Eventually, a bone marrow donor was found in Belgium. The transplant was successful.
And the nurses let me and my husband push the first couple of mils into her to start it off for her. And you could just see the tiny little veins and it's like little bits of material, it looked like, going down the little line into her. But it was lovely pushing the first few mils into her. We took our pictures and it was lovely. And then we just had to wait.
Are you aware of the background and how it all started?
I wasn't until I was made aware of it. Yeah. And it's quite astounding that it was from up in this area. I always think it was down in London and something like that. But from our area, for something so big to grow from, and such a good thing to happen, it is lovely.
The charity now invests £23 million a year on research and employs 50 people. It still uses the same flower chosen by Hilda Eastwood.
We still use the forget-me-not in our logo, but we also use it for our in-memory funds. So if someone dies from leukemia, their family can still remember them with a forget-me-not fund. So we still remember the Eastwoods in all of our present-day activities.
You've heard two stories with very different endings, and perhaps the happy ending of Rachel's survival is linked to the determination of the Eastwoods that something good should come out of their tragedy, Susan's death. Leukaemia Research is a fantastic charity doing great work, saving many lives all around the world, and the Eastwoods ought to be incredibly proud that it all started here at their home in Middlesbrough.
It's too late for their daughter. But who knows how many daughters down the line, because of that family's interest and that family's determination to do something and not just sit back and see if it happens.
It's hard to quantify the impact that they've had. From a small passionate idea, overcoming a family tragedy, to a £20 million charity, it's unbelievable.
It was just a normal, everyday family. We were just hit with a bolt out the blue and it started and it grew and grew and grew.
And we've more on this story, including an extended interview with Ian Botham on our website. Just check out bbc.co.uk/insideout.